Because imagine if you're spraying that insecticide on cabbage. Everybody's here watered cabbage. You know, the water's going to beat up and roll off, but the beads that do stay there, and it's got an insecticide in it, and I'm an aphid, I can run circles around that. But if you coat that entire leaf, or imagine with the fungicide, I mean, the same concept. So yeah, it's allowing it to coat the entire leaf. Another product that it's extremely important to add spreader sticker to is our Over the Top. Over the Top is a grass killer. It doesn't harm broadleaf plants. It kills grasses. Well, grasses have a small surface area. They also have a very waxy coating. So if you're not adding spreader sticker to Over the Top, you're not getting the results that the customer is expecting. And guys, spreader sticker goes really far. You're using teaspoons of this product versus tablespoons or fluid ounces of the active ingredient. Most homeowners, a little tiny bottle, a little 8-ounce bottle is going to last them quite a while. I like to joke and say people usually lose the bottle before they go through the whole thing. You're not using much of the product to get better results.
8-ounce bottle of Over the Top will cover 8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
That's how much it'll cover.
Yeah.
And you guys that have had some of my classes, what's the one word you need to remember about Over the Top or grass killer? Come on.
Be patient.
Patience.
Be patient. That's exactly right.
Be patient, because you can spray a dandelion with a Trimec or something like that. Within a day, you can see desiccation and curling and so forth. With Over the Top, all you've got is green grass. And a week or 10 later is light green grass. And another week or 10 days later, it's yellow. And in about a month, it's brown. Yeah. So I've had customers bring that back and say, this is crap. It does not work. Patience, dear, it works. It will not work if you do not use spreader sticker with it or oil. Will not work. Yeah. Because it's a slow chemical, you'll wash it off before it has a chance to work. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. I've got Austin Stovall here from Austin, Texas. He's another VPG employee. He's going to talk to you guys about some of our new items that we have coming out this year. And there's one in particular that I think you guys are going to be really excited about. So I'm going to be here all day. I know as soon as I walk away, you guys are going to start thinking of some insects or issues that you want to know some answers to. Come and chat me up. Let me know, let me know what your questions are, and we'll get you some good solutions. So yeah, it's going to be in the left side of that folder. We're going to have all the new items.
I'll let you guys get all these sheets out real fast. And so that first one we're going to look at today is going to be the weed out nutsedge control. How many of you guys have nutsedge problems with your customers? All right, we got a few more than the last talk we did, so that's good. The main ingredient in this that's going to control that nutsedge is going to be the sulfentrazone. And then that product right there, what it's going to do is going to kill the nut that's in the soil, because that's the main reason why that nutsedge is so hard to kill and keeps coming back. It's that little nut down there. The new concentrate bottles also have a new added ingredient in it, which makes it even better than kind of the older stuff that you've kind of seen on the shelf and on the market before. And that's going to be the prodiamine that's in it. And that's going to be a pre-emergent. And so then that prodiamine, after you kill that nut, and it still has all those tassels on that plant, all that seed is going to fall down to the ground, and that prodiamine is going to keep that seed from germinating and making more nuts. So then that's going to be a great product. And then other thing too is we've got a hose in here. So you not only now do you have that prodiamine in your certain bags, spreading bags that we have, you're also going to be able to have a liquid hose-in adaptable way of taking care of that. And then that sulfentrazone, even if they don't have nut grass, it's still going to kill a lot of grassy or broadleaf weeds. And so then any questions about the nutsedge control?
Just remind them that prodiamine, one that we sell a lot to them here, is the Kills-All Extended Control. And the extended control part of it is prodiamine. So you can spray an area with the Kills-All, kill whatever's green there. It puts the prodiamine down, and that won't allow seeds to germinate for up to 3 months there. Now, if you've got perennial root structure in there that grows in, it does not do anything with perennial roots.
And then any more questions? All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to move on now to the chelated iron, EDDHA. And so this is going to be a granular bag of iron. So, familiar with our previous product here, the chelated liquid iron? This is going to be like your foliar spray. This is going to come through and you're going to put that on the leaf surface of the plant to take care of iron chlorosis. And who knows what the best indication for iron deficiency is in your plant? Yellowing. And what's the other key factor about that yellowing that's going to be so important? Green. Yes, green veins in it. And so then that's going to be the big difference between iron chlorosis and nitrogen chlorosis. Nitrogen chlorosis, the whole leaf is going to turn yellow. Whereas with the iron chlorosis, you're still going to have those green veins in there. And if you look at all of our pop-up things like he was saying, this has pictures on it too of what that iron chlorosis looks like, which is a nice thing to have in your store. You can point to, well, does it look like this or is the whole leaf green? And so these sheets, again, are going to be super helpful for selling these products to your customer. And then who knows why iron is such a hard thing for plants to take up in the soil? Alkaline. There you go, alkaline soils. And so then that's where this product is going to be extremely useful, because this is going to be effective in soils with a pH above 7, or those alkaline soils. And then, so why is alkaline soils make iron not available? Does anyone know the answer to that?
It adds an extra electron to the molecules.
Exactly.
So it's too large to be taken up in the root.
Exactly. And so then with this guy right here is that chelation process is going to surround that iron with organic molecules that are going to allow that iron to still be uptaked by the plant. And so then that's why this is going to work great in the soil. You're still going to have some soil transmissibility with your chelated liquid iron, but this granular iron is going to be a little bit better of a product for the soil profile. So you can start off with putting this down into your soil profile, and if they still are having issues later in the year, coming up into the fall season and stuff like this, this is a great way to come in with a second application of iron and be able to take care of any extra iron deficiencies and stuff that you'll have. And so that's 2 products right there that'll manage to keep all of those issues at bay. And so anyone have any questions about the chelated iron?
It's not designed to be sprayed, is that?
Yes, yeah. So that's because it's a granular formulation, and so that's where you're going to want to use it in the soil. Then is where you're going to have the most effectiveness with it.
But the liquid one can be sprayed.
Yes, yeah. Liquid one. This is your foliar application right here.
You're going to have three iron products that you can use. You've got the spray, and the way I kind of think about that, a spray is a quick fix, but it's not a long-term fix. It's going to come back on you. Then there is soil acidifier, and that's a iron product that's got a sulfur added to it that's going to lower the pH, and you can take it up like that. Or now we've got the EDDHA iron, which that particular iron won't bind in the soil until the pH is probably above 8. Now, by the way, we are not low in iron. In the Intermountain area, we've got plenty of iron in our soils. So the problem is that iron, zinc, calcium, and some of the trace elements that are in our soils, because of pH, they bind and the plant can't get to them. So you've got 2 choices. You can either lower the pH, or you can use products that are going to trick it and get by it.
So speaking of lowering the pH, so we just mentioned the soil acidifier plus iron. We have a few other products too that are going to also acidify your soil. What's an organic product that we sell in our organic line that's going to be a great way to kind of acidify and bring life back into your soil? The microbial life is going to stimulate it, and it's one of the most important parts of breaking down carbon. It's going to be humic acid. Humic acid is a great product to help bring that natural soil acidity.
We don't sell humic here.
That's right, because it's not.
We sell soil activator.
Soil activator. That's you guys' one.
Got to remember, you're in Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other questions about the iron? Anything about pH? Any questions about that sort of topic or whatever? Awesome. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go on to the grass and weed killer non-selective. So how many of you guys have heard of the Roundup lawsuits going on TV and stuff right now? Yeah, so, and I'm sure you get customers come in and they're all worried about all that stuff. And the very, 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 very first thing I would tell them is that the EPA has already come back numerous times and said that glyphosate is still a non-carcinogenic, safe product to use in your garden. So still allow them to try and convince them still to pick up their super Kills-All, their Kills-All extended control, all that kind of stuff like that. Because glyphosate is still used in 76% of agriculture and it's still a completely safe product. You should have no problems at all pointing your customers to those products. But if they're super picky, they're super worried about all the things they see on TV and they take the TV more seriously than they take you, then that's where you can say, okay, well, I understand your concern, I understand your worries. We've also got this great organic product here, the Grass and Weed Killer Non-Selective. And what this is a potassium salts of fatty acids, which is basically a soap. And so this guy right here is going to give you a top burn. And so what you got to tell them is that whenever they apply it to their weeds that they're trying to kill, they need to make sure that they apply it when the weed is about 6 inches or less in size. Because as soon as it gets, you get like a guy who's got a dandelion that's 4 feet tall with like a 6-foot taproot, glyphosate's going to have a hard time knocking that bad boy out. And so then that's where you got to let them know, got to knock those weeds out in a younger stage of their life with this organic product here. But it's a fabulous, fabulous product. And we also, at the same time, carry a selective lawn weed killer, and then that's going to have iron in it, and that's going to knock out broadleaf weeds. And so they've got an organic option for both a selective and non-selective weed killer. And so any other questions about that non-selective killer, the new bottle we've got? It's in a concentrate. We've also got a gallon size with a sprayer attachment for it. So any questions on that guy? All right, let's move on then. We're going to go ahead and jump over to the fast-acting gypsum now. Gypsum is a really great product. What gypsum does is it's going to flocculate clay soils. And so that flocculation, what that does is it takes that platelets of clay. Clay is a bunch of these tiny, tiny, tiny little particles that are stacked on top of each other really, really closely. And they're bound pretty well with positive ion gradients. And so what that gypsum is going to do, it's going to get in between those platelets and separate them just a little bit, and then that's going to allow oxygen flow into the soil profile. It's going to allow water to penetrate faster, and it's going to allow the roots to grow into that clay soil better than if you hadn't applied that gypsum. And so then the other big important part about the gypsum is it's got that AST product in it. And so that's the other key factor when you're selling this product compared to any of your rock gypsums, any sort of thing like that. Those rock gypsums, those limestones like that agricultural lime, all those sort of things that you buy in bulk and it's really dirt cheap. What that's missing is that AST. That AST is going to take that gypsum, pull it into the soil profile faster so it acts more readily and is more readily available to the soil profile. And then it's going to bind with the soil profile and keep that gypsum around longer. And so not only is it going to be faster and more effective, it's also going to stick around for longer too and be more effective for longer. And so then that's where that AST, for that couple extra bucks, you can get them a way better product that's going to go a lot farther. The other thing too, like with the gypsum and lime, is going to be that gypsum, usually you would need an application rate of 50 pounds per 1,000 square feet or something like that. This guy right here is going to be 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So they have a factor of 10 reduction in the amount of product they need to apply. And so that right there in and of itself is a cost-saving thing for the customer. You guys are going to get a couple extra bucks for the bag because of that AST product in it, so you're making a bigger margin on it. Their product is to take going longer for them, and so it's a win-win-win all around for everybody with that guy. And so, yes ma'am.
Will this work on like a driveway that you've used a soil sterilant on?
Yes, yeah.
You want to remove the salts?
Yes, it is. It is a helps heal salt problems in soils too. Yeah.
So, like in that driveway where you have that soil sterilant and your trees are dying on that side, will this help?
It will, but if it's a soil sterilant, that like what's in our 365 here with that imazapyr or something like that, some of that chemical stuff is going to stick around a little bit harder than like if it was a salt sort of sterilant or something like that. So that's where it probably would help, but I would still say that you're still going to see a little bit of damage continue on in that tree because that ground sterilant, if it's a chemical like this, is going to be very hyper specific about killing plant material. But yes.